much stuff floating around. I don't know. People trying to say they wasn't together.
Basically was trying to get into a threesome.
If I do this, I get this. If I gaslight you, I get this. If I derail you, I get this. If I love bomb you, I get this. If I hoover you, I get this. There's a whole bunch of terms. There's a whole bunch of things. So if you are interested in learning about narcissism, a couple YouTubers that I always send my clients to is Stephanie Lynn Coaching, is Dr. Romano, Lisa Romano, and then there is Dr. Romany from the Red Table.
I heard of Dr. Romany, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Lynn, I love her. So I appreciate you, Prunella, giving those individual names, because I think, again, like we said earlier, this is so important for us to learn and to know. So right now I want to interject. I'm going to give a story time because I want to talk about your love bombing. And that love bombing had me in a relationship for almost 4 years because it felt so sweet. Like it was like a Dr. Am I saying the right? Dr. Hyde and Jekyll, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, Mr.
Right.
Hyde.
So that was him.
Yes.
Oh my God. When he was sweet. Oh my God, he was so sweet. And he knew how to talk to my love language. Like you said, they take that intake. So he did all that and above, but he did it special. And I was like, oh my God. And my heart would just melt. But then he had those moments where he acted even. I'm like, oh, who are you? I don't like you. Can you bring back the other person? So it's like it was crazy until I got to my breaking point. I was like, I can't do this. But let me tell you something. This is a totally different person that I'm speaking about. The two main people that I'm speaking of, they were my biggest lessons. There was two different types of narcissists that I experienced, and it was crazy. And even though the first one was 2 years and the second one was 4 years, if you put that's a total of 6 years of manipulation. And it took me a while to transform from that. But I didn't know at that time. I didn't know, like Manny said, I didn't know it had a name. I didn't know what gaslighting was. I wasn't educated in that area. So that's why I say, it will be a pleasure for people to get awareness so they can be sharp on this skill. This skill is so needed because there are so many predators out there.
What you said when you're talking about the time, they get you wrapped up. Think about playing the slot machines, right? Think about when you go and you play those penny slot machines, like they give you some winnings and you keep playing because you want to win again, right? And then it gets further and farther few between your winnings until your money is all gone, you're all spent. It's the same thing with love bombing, right? It's like you're chasing that. You're chasing that. Oh my God, I just want to get back to that good moment, that good time. And so what happens is they'll love bomb you, and then they'll treat you badly. And it's just like that, playing that slot machine. You hang in there because you're like, there has to be, I see this other side of them. There's some good stuff in here. So I have to, just be patient. I have to endure. I have to keep trying. I have to do more. And if your boundary system is, because it's a dynamic, it's not just the narcissist, but we attract narcissists because we have a need to earn love. And so that is a codependent. So narcissism and codependency think of two sides of the same coin, right? One side, it's the same mother wound, and I'm getting clinical here. All right. So buckle up and hang on with me. Please. It's the same mother wound. Narcissists have been neglected by a parent, typically a mother, but it could be either parent, right? Now, they didn't get their emotional needs met by that parent. And so they've learned to say, you know what, screw that. I can't trust people to pour into me. So I'm going to get what I deserve, no matter who gets hurt. I'm just going to go out and get what I deserve. And so they, at the core of them, never really feel valuable. So they have to get that value from other people. Other people have to validate them, tell them they're great, tell them, and how they're going to do it is, I'm going to do all these manipulative tactics to make you fall in line and do what I need you to do.
Right.
I'm going to have a bunch of women pour into my ego, give me supply. I'm going to get with very compassionate people so that, you know, they feel bad if they're not giving towards me. I'm going to play all these mind games. Now, the other side of that coin is codependency. And those individuals did not get their emotional needs met by their parents either. And so what they've learned to do is that, hey, I have to earn love. You know, I have to do more for people in order for people to hang around and like me. I have to, you know, give more than my fair share. I have to do more than what's expected. I have to put my needs aside and give to people. And narcissists want to take. So you can understand why that dynamic is so unhealthy. It's only when you start to heal yourself and know that you are valuable and that you are deserving of love, that you can stop attracting narcissists.
And you know what, Prunella, that was perfect timing, because I was just about to ask you, how can one protect themselves from a manipulator?
One, you have to love you. And when you love you, you start filling those voids that are in you that are looking for outside people to fill up. So you start looking for, you know, you start doing good by you, being compassionate, talking to yourself nice, being forgiving of yourself, pouring into your own bucket. And so when you start to do that to yourself, it's like, okay, well, I'm a whole vibe by myself. So whoever comes on has to add and not subtract. And so when you find someone subtracting, you're like, nah, we're better off by ourselves. Me, myself, and I can do this all by ourselves. We don't need you over there messing up this groove thing. I'm being facetious, but it's really setting boundaries. When you love yourself, you set boundaries for what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate. And you don't care whether people step out of your life because you know you got you. And so people can come and go, and it might be painful, but it's not something that you won't recover from. Right. And so that's when you get rid of that. You heal that codependency where you feel like, hey, I have to earn people's love. I have to make them stay. When you love yourself, you understand that, you know what, everybody's not a good fit. And I don't want everybody. I'm a whole, you know, I'm a very, you know, special fit. I need someone who can fit me, and I'm not going to tolerate anything. Right. And so that's how you can really guard yourself
for like 20 minutes.
Because there is a technique that we teach to get rid of that. I'm gonna give y'all the skinny just so y'all know. But it's gray rock. It's to emotionally detach. When someone's trying to gaslight you, we typically want to defend ourselves. We typically want to talk about what it is. Act like you don't even hear it. Don't even respond. Don't even respond.
Okay, y'all guys know I love story time. So here's my story time. The person who was one of my biggest gaslighters is in my block inbox, and he has been talking to himself in my block inbox for 1.5 years. Oh, guess what? Lady K won't respond. Guess what? He is mad as hell, and I don't care.
Big mad. Big mad. He over there. He's still talking himself out 1.5 years.
Mad. But guess what? Lady K don't care, because remember, they do not like boundaries. It hurts their souls when they can't cross over. Let them hurt their soul, because it has nothing to do with you. Just continue to stand your ground.
They don't like being ignored.
They don't.
So that's why the gray rock system works, because it's like that negative supply that I talked about, where if you lose your cool, they can then say, see, I told you were crazy. But if you just sit in your power and you don't give, you know, any supply from it, they can't get a rise out of you. And it highlights their toxicity. So,
right. So before we go, I just got to say this one more story time, because you said something about to the point that they will project things on you. So I had a situation where I was exiting a relationship, and he particularly asked me, he said, when you said you was working overtime, was you really working overtime? I said, yes, absolutely. Because towards the end of the relationship, he already stepped out. And then not even that, after a while, he didn't even hide it no more. He made it known that he was stepping out, and he made it known he was going to intentionally hurt me so he can feed his new supply. He can be fed by his new supply. So, that's something that we have to take in hindsight when people do strategies like that.
And that is actually, I'm gonna get your book, but there is actually that is actually a phase in narcissist. Like, so they typically get a new supply when they know you're already out or about to get out, and they're going to do everything that you've been begging them to do with the new supply, and then they want to flaunt you. Again, it's a gaslighting technique, because if you go, well, how come you're giving it to her, and why, what's so important about her, and why do you do? You're giving supply. You're stroking their ego. Right. Now they got two. It's called triangulation. Now they got two people fighting over them.
Ooh, so, egos. I know about that.
Yeah. This whole thing, like when I started this journey, I was blown away. Because I know it from both sides of the couch.
Right.
Okay. So I was blown away with how textbook, and it's they're not reading the same textbook, but it is textbook. The way in which these things happen is textbook.
Wow.
So when you know better, you do better.
Absolutely. That was powerful right there. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. Absolutely. So you hit it right on the head, Prunella, because when I came out of my marriage, I was like, you know what, Kalima, you just need to be by yourself, because that's how I felt, was just done and drained. And that was a pile up from over the years of being all these in different relationships. So at that time, I just had enough. And then also too, what kind of was special, but I didn't realize it then, and I know it now. What was special is when I was coming out of my marriage, I was pregnant with my son. And I kept saying, God, this is not the right timing for me to have a baby, So not knowing that, I went through some health issues before, so I wasn't even sure if I could have a baby. But then, my son was there. So I'm going through this phase of coming out of marriage, being pregnant, and I'm feeling alone and I'm drained. So, but what I did, I went on to a healing journey. And I did it for a couple of years. I didn't date for a couple of years. It was just all about me, pouring into my baby. And the love that I created for myself, the love I created for him, his safe space, my safe space, me not caring how people look at me because I love me not wanting to alter myself because somebody don't like the way I said something, or me, oh, I stepped on your toes. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry I stepped on your toes. I didn't listen. The message came out. How you receive it is different. Like they say, you hit the send button, but when they receive, it's different. So that's not my problem. That's something your problem. That's something that you have to deal with. Like you said, Prunella, you got to deal with these things, these voids. And I had those voids, and no one could fulfill it but me. But in order for you to do that, you have to take time and give life to those wounds. See, a lot of people just want to put a Band-Aid. No, but the more you put the Band-Aid, right, it's gonna hurt again, because you're gonna do something that's gonna remind you. But when you actually take, you know what, I'm gonna take the time to really heal. What's the problem? Speak to me. And sometimes too, when you do that, you might lose people. But guess what? So what? But I'm just telling you, people feel like you have to amend to them and do what you want to do. Again, it's this control stuff. It's just crazy. But once you come to a certain place where you feel free, it's the best place to be. Because once you get there, you will cut any and everybody off. That's to reserve your peace. And that's where I'm at today. And this is where I want the other ladies to be, that even the men too, because I know some men hurt too. And, they don't know they deal with things different than how we deal with it, because we're more vocal and they're less. But, everyone needs to hear this message. Everyone needs to get to that place of healing those voids. And, it's a journey. Life is a journey, and this is not going to happen overnight.
Absolutely. Yep. Creating space, you have to sometimes let go of things so that you can receive the people who are supposed to take you to the next stage,
right,
in your journey. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Manny, what's your closing remarks?
My closing remarks is simply this. Know what gaslighting is, know the signs of gaslighting, and know how to detect and just run from it. Because you also have to understand that you should never let somebody dictate your own feelings, or should never let anybody dictate how you feel about yourself. Because for me, soon as that happens, you got to go. I have little to no tolerance for that, but that's another episode. But anywho, just understand the manipulative behaviors that comes with that, and you just have to make sure that you know how to break free from it, kind of like what you did, Lady K.
Right. So, Ms. Prunella, I thank you so much for joining us today. What you gave was amazing. How can the audience reach you if they needed your services?
Mm-hmm.
You could follow me on Instagram. I have Instagram at Restorative Family. I also have a website, www.restorativefamilyservices.com, and I have a Rise Station podcast. For those of you who want to know more about wellness tips, strategies, just practical everyday techniques to really improve your well-being.
Thank you so much. And I also have to say this to you too. There's a need for what you are doing. You specifically are helping women come out of narcissistic abuse. And oh my gosh, that demand is so high. So again, I just want to thank you for wanting to serve people in that area, because like I said, it's a need. It really is a need. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. Let us know what you feel in the comments. Let us know your story. Please like this, please share this, and comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you everyone. We'll see you next Saturday here at 11 a.m. Everyone have a great day.
Take care, everyone.